My name is hautemess Tom, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. What you're about to see is a recording of the live stream of Critical Sass that I did last night. So what Critical Sass is, it's my new makeup release videos where I try to unpack makeup marketing, trying to decipher whether or not I think a product will be good. And when we do it live, we get to talk about it in a chat, which is so much fun. I do these the last Wednesday of every month, so make sure you're following along. But my content is typically about loving my makeup collection as it currently is. So if that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video, and I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. There's no pressure to, but just if you want to. And also the video quality on the stream is better. I thought I had an intro in the recording, but I certainly didn't because we had some technological issues getting started last night. So here it is. We're just gonna jump right in. I have everything all set up. You know, you can try to be ready as you can be. I was a Boy Scout once, and you had to you always be prepared, or what, be prepared? There is something about being prepared in Boy Scouts. I appreciate you all. Thank you for giving me the space to fix whatever happened. Let's get rolling. How's everyone doing? Is everyone doing hopefully better than me? I didn't have a bad day. Just getting spicy. Thank you for all the compliments on the look. We just did asymmetry. This is this is sort of a star, which I didn't do on purpose. I went this way and that way. I was like, well, they don't have to match. If I did them both up, I feel like everyone would expect them to look kind of the same, and who can be bothered to do that? No one's late to the party. I'm late to my own party. Can we see the first image? Now I'm unsure about everything that's happening. This one's more for me. This one's for me. I'm talking about this. This one's more for me. This one's for me. Lash Clash is one of my favorite mascaras. It's one of the best mascaras. It's by YSL. I know that brown mascara, I don't know if it's always been popular, but it seems to be a thing that a lot of people are asking for. And now there's a brown option. So I just wanted to make you aware. I already know that I like this product, and I just think that if you would like to try it, but you weren't trying it because there wasn't a brown option, I'm just letting you know that there is a brown option. I mean, I am using the Tower 28 Make Waves one right now, and I do like it, but I really enjoyed this one back when I was using it. Also, another thing that's new on this live stream is I don't look orange. I did figure out how to take that filter off, and I was like, maybe that's what did me in. Matching is very 2022. Am I so old news? I probably am. I don't curl my lashes. So if anyone else has tried this and talked about, knows more about curl than I do, I would hope that you can answer that question because I actually really don't know. Brown mascara, popular in the 80s. I think people are just more into natural looking lashes because your lashes, some people's lashes aren't black. I guess some people's are, but not everyone's lashes are black. So I think people think that it's a softer look. Brown mascara is having a moment for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if clear mascara makes a comeback next. You know, surprisingly, when I worked at Sephora, there were a lot of people who came in asking for clear mascara. And, I thought it was always for maybe one of their children to give them the effect. But no, it was always for adults, which I was surprised by. I guess I don't really know what clear mascara's purpose is. Let's move along. This is a new one from Danessa Myricks. Danessa Myricks is releasing the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed Matte Color for Cheek and Lip. A buildable soft matte formula that blurs and smooths cheek and lip with all-day wear. I guess my question is, and maybe one of you knows the answer to this because sometimes you all be knowing things and I don't know. But is this the same type of formula as that other balm thing, or is it a powder? But I feel like this is the exact same question that I asked whenever the last thing was released. I feel like it's exactly what happened. I don't know. Give Charlotte Tilbury a moment, and Charlotte Tilbury will come out with a longer name for sure. So plans with Jay. So you said that the blurring balm was easily one of so do you think this is the same formula? I like the packaging of this. I think it's great, especially if it's the same thing as the blurring balms that came out last year. This will be easier to differentiate. And then if you like it, you'll be able to see through them and see all the colors, which I appreciate. I think all of the names for all products are confusing now. I think that my guess is that there's something to do with copyright or something like that. Whenever these really long names come out, it's they couldn't just call it the blurring balm because it's oh, someone else already had the copyrights to that. And they couldn't get it. Here's how I feel about this. I mean, we're seeing a lot of blush releases, and I mean, this is not the last blush release that we're gonna see on here. I always feel this, it feels, I guess we're going into spring in America, not everywhere, but in America, we're going in spring and everything's very American centric when it comes to beauty, unfortunately. I guess it makes sense that we're starting to see blushes. I feel like it's early for blushes. I want to see blushes come out in April and May. for us in America. I don't want to see them now. I mean, I guess like if you're the kind of person like that blush makes you really happy and like it's really sad right now because it's so cold outside. It's so cold and dreary and wet and snowing and then raining and then freezing, which is what happened in Pittsburgh today. You might want to blush to feel like you're living, but I don't know. They're very beautiful colors. I love this range. You know, I love anything that leans like really terracotta into red, and then there's some nude shades. So I think this is a great color selection. I think obviously these are going to look really, really beautiful on people with deep complexions. I'm sure that the pigment's adaptable enough for people with lighter complexions to use them. I think that this is like a solid release. Ooh, you guys are popping off tonight. I see a lot of conversations about lip and cheek products. I never do it. Like if I buy a product that's like supposed to be for both, I pick one. I feel the same way about the Makeup Forever Aqua liners, which are, or I guess they're not called that anymore. They used to be called the Aqua liners. I think they're called something different now, but they are like, they can be eyeliners or they can be lip products. And every time I sold one to a person, I was like, please don't put that on your lips without sharpening and sanitizing it, put it in your eye. Please don't do that. I mean, I feel less that way about like cheek and mouth, but like, I don't know. If I'm going to use it as a cheek product, I'm going to use it as a cheek product. I feel like putting something that's in a pot on my lips that like isn't lip balm, that's something that with pigment, I think I just wouldn't like that. I feel like this is an overwhelming, some people are into it, an overwhelming meh. I feel like that's kind of the response. I think this is one of those things that a lot of us would be waiting for reviews on. I felt that way whenever Danessa Myricks released the blurring balm. I was like, I think I have to watch someone else use it to understand it. And then people started using it and I still didn't understand it. That's just because I'm stupid. Merit is releasing 4 new shades of the Flush Balm. Now, you guys know that I love a slow release. You know I love an addition to a shade range. So this really tickles me. I don't really like the Flush Balms. I don't think they're super pigmented. I think they're definitely for a person who's like not really into a blushy look, but like wants to have options. I think this is like really good for that person. But I just love an extension of the shade range. And I do think that Merit did a pretty good job honing into some shades here. Like definitely 3 of the 4 seem to be more appropriate for deeper complexions, except that formula, while it doesn't really show up on me, I don't know if these deeper shades would show up on deeper complexions, but I like the effort, I guess. B for effort. This formula is just like certainly not my fave, but I always love to see an extension of the shade ranges. And yeah, these don't stay very long. They're aesthetically pleasing, but they're really light. Merit's stuff is very weird with packaging. Like the one I had came in the old packaging, but I imagine that this is no more weighted than the packaging that I had. I don't think that this would be many people's jam. It's a very specific person's. Majestic Beast, I used a brush to apply this and it worked okay. But it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite blush formula. Here's a new thing. I think this just dropped today or yesterday. Jones Road Beauty is releasing the bronzer, a product 2 years in the making. The bronzer is a silky powder that adds instant warmth to the skin. Pardon me. I'm really having a time today. Bronzer is a silky powder that adds instant warmth to the skin. Sheer and buildable, it can be used to give the skin a natural tint or for color correction. Available in 7 shades and developed to work across a range of skin tones and types. I guess I don't get the vision of what Bobbi Brown's doing with Jones Road. The shade range doesn't do it for me. I know that like it was designed with all skin tones in mind. I don't know that that's like how I feel when I look at that. And also, I think one of the main things that like a thing that I can recall from like working with clients with really deep complexions at Sephora, bronzer was always like a very difficult thing to find. And a lot of them really didn't like that the options that were available to them in the store were like so red. And that deepest shade looks very, very red. I just wish that we went more neutral. However, the lightest one looks almost like a blush. I see a lot of pink in that. And I have a feeling that there are going to be people who try these and really love them. And I'm betting that the formula is really nice, especially because I kind of have a little bit of faith in Bobbi Brown. And I think it's smart to start putting out powder products because I feel like a lot of people didn't get on with those balm things, all the balms, the WTF, what the foundation. I think people like really didn't love that. I could see a world in which I tried one of these and I would like I probably would get on with it, but it's not serving me a bronzer fantasy. $35. A lot of people are intrigued by this one. Sloan, why is the lightest one pink? I don't know. 2 years in the making with that shade range. I agree. She claims no orange. These ones look desaturated. I can see some people loving these. Cecily, I think the same. I really do. I'm going to be shady. Doesn't seem to go deep enough, or just with being red, red, red. That's a picture, of course. I'm seeing an overwhelming, why is it pink? A lot of leaning to the pink. I think we're not really getting into it. Maybe the pink is to not go orange. It's like, well, maybe if we make the decided choice to do a pink bronzer, it won't turn orange on people, but I don't know. I'm not great with color theory. I'll put whatever on my face. The lightest shade reminds me of the latest Gucci range, which is rosy and actually works quite well for you as a bronzer. Okay. It's giving pretentious. It's like most of my makeup collection. It's giving pretentious. Bobbi Brown does give like very pretentious vibes. It's like, I don't know, I guess whatever. This is like the space for that. Every time I see Bobbi Brown talk about one of her products from Jones Road, it does often give like I know how to do makeup better than you. And I understand that you're a professional makeup artist and that's like likely true, but it's just like, just because you like to wear your makeup one way and do your makeup on people one way, it doesn't mean that it's like the right way. People are allowed to play with makeup however they want. And I think that brands like this kind of like suck the joy out of makeup. And I understand that like some people really like that easy breezy natural look, but like to discredit brands that are doing like really wild, colorful things, I think is not the right move. And like not just like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I look like this today. So Jones Road gives crunchy granola meets cul-de-sac to me. This next one, this one's a banger. And I think many of you will agree. So this is the Shine by SD Cosmetics collaboration with Seeking Shifts. It's called the Earthborn collection. So there are 10 shades. And if you don't follow Seeking Shifts on Instagram, I highly recommend it. So the full price, if you want to get all of them, is $179.50. And if you use her discount code, it brings it down to $161.55. But you can also buy them singles, $17.95 full price. And with the discount code, $16.15. And her promo code is Seeking Shifts. I am, of course, so thrilled. I was so thrilled. My heart was racing whenever Seeking Shifts like started posting about this on her Instagram. I was like, I'm so excited. Here's why. I spent a lot of time on my channel talking about how I feel like multi-chromes, like once you have some, it's like, do you need to explore more? But if there's one person in this world, on this planet, that I trust to make some really honed in, very special multi-chrome eyeshadows, it's Seeking Shifts. Now, I don't own anything by Shine by SD, but I have heard great things. And I also trust Seeking Shifts. So I am very into this. I am actually already gonna break my eyeshadow no buy. I'm not gonna buy the whole collection. Some of them are more interesting to me than others. There is a picture that has all the names on them, and you should see them in motion. There's a couple other people who got them in PR they've done amazing swatches. I still think you should be discerning if you're gonna participate in this collab. Like, I don't think everyone needs all 10. I think you need to like look at it and be like, which ones are gonna be for me. But I've been really into like purple recently. Like, I haven't worn it a lot on my channel, but like I've been really into the idea of purple. So there's 2 purple ones. And then she said one of them was like a wet looking shadow, and I want to get that one. So I'm probably going to pick up 3 or 4. I don't think that we always have to support our favorite creators by buying their things, but I just think that this is a very special collaboration, and I just am very excited about it all. I'm excited to be here at the ground level with all of you, and I'm very, very excited about this release, and it's looking great. It's looking hot. It's looking hot. This is absolutely magnificent. I agree. It's so pretty. I refuse to look at them, so I can't be tempted. I understand. She does some of the most comprehensive swatch comparisons content ever. Yes. So she will do like, you want me to swatch all my purple multi-chromes on my arm, and then she like does it, and then you can like see the real nuances of it. This is what Pat McGrath should have done for her 10th palette. I agree. It should have been, yeah. Oh my God. Exactly. Exactly. I'm hearing great things about the Shine by SD formula. So they're dry. I don't mind a dry formula when it comes to eyeshadows, but I'm very into this. I'm excited to own some of these. I am excited. So I know that Riley did say, I feel like I'm very nice. I was very, that's very nice. So she can watch this one. Someone can let her know. I'm not going to tell her because that feels very weird for me to be like, I was very nice about your multi-groups on my Critical Sass. But yeah, I'm very excited. This is a great release. It's like one of those releases where like you see it and it makes sense and it's nice because it's like an indie brand with like a smaller creator. I just love it. It's the best. Flower Beauty has released their Lowlight dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury contour thing. I guess I've been part of the dupe conversation. Like, I guess I said some of that in one of my videos, but like the conversation around dupes has like, I feel like gotten like pretty intense recently. In my opinion, it makes sense for Flower Beauty to do this since they've already done the highlighter version and at a price point that might be more accessible to people. I feel like this is a good release. I don't know if they're good. I don't know how many shades this comes in. Probably more than Charlotte Tilbury. I mean, it doesn't take much. You just need 3 to be doing better than Charlotte Tilbury. Yeah, I mean, I won't be buying this. I mean, I don't even think I would buy the Charlotte Tilbury one again, but I kind of like it, but like, I'm not in search of this, but I'm happy that the option's there. But I guess there was another drugstore brand that recently did these. I guess I just would like to see, I mean, I've already said this before. I did a whole video on it. You could just make a contour. And it could be a liquid contour. It doesn't have to look like that though. You know what I mean? It's just like, why don't you just make a really good contour formula? Why not do that? Now even brands at the same price point are now duping each other and it's like, oh, I guess it's the Wild West of makeup right now. Dupes are rotting my brain. No more cheap dupes, Miss Barrymore. This makes me want to go on a no buy. Megan says, I'm over this delivery system. It's gone from trendy to ridiculous to over it. Yeah, I think that's like the best way to that's it. That's the tweet. That's all of the thoughts. Tarte's also releasing blushes that are coming in that mechanism too. And it's like, who cares? So Charlotte Tilbury's releasing a matte version of the blushes. For some reason, I think these are gonna be trash. And I'm like really whatever about Charlotte Tilbury at this point. Like I've tried it. I've dabbled. It's not for me. I guess when I see this, I know that the matte Eyes to Mesmerize didn't go over well. And for some reason, I feel like this is going to be more of the same. When I think of the way that Charlotte Tilbury does skin, does it matter that the blush is matte? Because Charlotte Tilbury just doesn't do matte skin. Like that's not her gig. Her like if you're gonna put the Hollywood Flawless filter underneath that and then the spotlight wand on top of that, it's gonna just look like a glowy blush. What is the point? Like I don't understand. You guys are all on the same wavelength. KVD did a liquid contour that managed to actually be unique. I hate KVD, so you know it's bad if I'm complimenting them even minorly. It's fair. Trends killed creativity and dupes killed originality. You guys are blowing my mind. Why is everyone so smart? You guys really are over this delivery mechanism. It is very funny. I don't know why, but I think the matte blush packaging reminds me of the NYX powder lipstick. I don't know anything about NYX. This is a fun aside. I wish I had put this in the slideshow. I came across a picture of my vanity from 3 years ago. And let me tell you, I was alarmed by the makeup that I saw. That was a different person. That person and this person, very different taste in makeup. Influencers will absolutely be all over these, but that's because I'm fairly certain Charlotte Tilbury pays good money for that. You know, I have tagged Charlotte Tilbury before. And I got no bots. I don't know if this is like a repackaging or what. How long has REM been around? 2 years? 3 years? I'm not really getting the identity of this brand. And I think that's a problem. Now we're this far in. What are we doing? This is $39. And I think if I was interested in any of these, like if I was interested in all of these, I think that's like an okay price point for this much stuff. But I think you all know that I am not at all interested in any of these things. The color story, the what's involved, everything from REM looks like repackaging. I'm truly in REM. Nate asks, are they still connected to Morphe? Okay, So I have watched videos about this, and to my understanding, no. And I think that they had started distancing themselves from like being, I don't know if they were ever a Forma brand. I don't really know what's going on with that. If you watch Jen Love's reviews, she does a lot of deep diving into all of that. And, you know, I do like occasionally watch, but I'm like only half listening. I think no. Ari's up to a lot of shenanigans. This is sad makeup. Could have been so good from her style wise. Yeah, I guess I don't understand what this is. If I'm remembering correctly, they used the former brand labs for and formulas, but were not owned by them. I think REM needs a House Louds rebrand. I think that would be wise. I also think I heard somewhere that it's possible that REM might be coming to Sephora, which I think is also an interesting move. I also considered the concealer, but not enough to actually go get it. I feel like that was me too. A lot of people were really talking about that concealer and really loved it, but it was like not for me. I don't see Ari having the same passion that Gaga and Selena put in. That's probably true too. This is a collaboration with Sigma, and I do not know how to pronounce this person's name, but it's either like An or An Knook. So I don't know this creator. And I don't know what their gig is. First and foremost, I think we should congratulate an influencer on getting to do a collab, because that's very cool and that's very fun. And I don't want to take that away from this person. But I don't like it. I like it. The thing is, all the looks I have seen like promoting this, the looks are all very pretty. And I've never tried anything from Sigma, but it needs to be less. I think it's too big. It's too many shades. And you know, that's my bias. I like a smaller color story. Don't overwhelm me. And don't you come in here and say that when I build my own palettes, I just put all of the green eyeshadows in a palette and that's it. Because that's too. I put them all away and then I build my own palette and it's all the same shadows get put back into the same magnetic palette. And it's 20 shades. Okay. So I can't read other people if I can't read myself. So there's a self-read. I don't know how to edit, but no one has asked me to, and I'm not gonna. I think the white to grays that are like happening there, I guess I just don't get it. It really reminds me of the days when we did like neutrals with a pop of blue. And I understand that there's like also some purples in there, but that's like the energy that I'm getting from it. It's giving me very retro, very like 2016, 2017 warm neutrals with a pop. That's all I see. I don't know if that's like what this creator's into. I would hope so. I mean, I guess it would make sense. You know, you would want all of those things to align, right? Like you wouldn't want me to do a collaboration with some brand and then for my palette to be like a pink palette, unless it was April Fool's Day. But I wouldn't do that. Like that wouldn't be where I would go. You guys, because like you know my preferences. I'm getting caught up. You guys really had a lot to say. So soon my mom will be selling in Sephora. Y'all are rotted. I loved her channel when I entered the makeup world, but this looks so dated. Okay, we're on the same page. It's a bit disjointed. She said she wanted warm and cool tones, and she gave us similar warm browns and gray. This is giving two different palettes, both of which I'm not interested in. 2015. Okay, so it's not just me. It's like, this looks like Norvina, the original Norvina. I could sort of see that. 2007 called it Once It's Yon Fest palette bag. I can't even begin to like start talking about how much I don't want to talk about Gwen Stefani anymore. I would not buy this, but I can see many people loving it. Sometimes I think about that, but I don't think Sigma's just, is Sigma sold in retail stores? I like actually don't know. But like this is not like one of those palettes that someone who like casually wears makeup could accidentally stumble upon. And like that's who I think that would buy this. Because it's like certainly not people who are super invested in beauty, especially people, I mean like I don't want to lump us all together, but like we're the people who are looking at these new releases and like we spot trends and things. And it's just like, yeah, I already have that. I could make that. I could do that in my collection if I really wanted to. Sigma is sold in some Targets. Oh, I did not know. You know, anytime that something special is happening in a Target, it's not happening in a Pittsburgh Target. Our market, not high enough. They don't care about us. Okay. Saie released an extension of shades for their Hydrabeam concealer. And I don't remember how many were in the original release, but I think there are now 15. And I think they purposefully did the promo shots for this so you couldn't spot the gradient. But I'm here to tell you, it's not better. It's like not better. In both directions, not light enough, not deep enough. It's like a wild shade range. I I don't have I ever really talked about Saie on my channel? I haven't. Well, I guess I think I did a video where I was like brands I'm specifically not interested in, and like Saie as a brand, I don't get. Like I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I feel like every time something is released by this brand, utterly polarizing. I know a lot of people like the cream bronzer, but I see people put it on and I'm like, that looks really orange. And like, I mean, I haven't tried it myself, so I can't really actually speak to that, but it's just like, what is this brand doing? I'm annoyed by this marketing image. Like I am. I literally think that they did it this way because they were like, we're not going to let you catch us because we're going to confuse your eye. And then the next page you have swatches and like we can see the swatches. We can see the gradient in the swatches. It's so bad. Steven, not much you say. I can't stand you. Saie gives me greasy, not glowy merit. Yeah, I could see that. Saie's aesthetic is to make you look like you just climbed out of a pool dripping wet. That's kind of like what I like. Sort of, but it doesn't sing to me. Miranda, I have one of the Chanel ones, but it's the deep tan and it's more red than orange. But it is the deep one, but it's not deep, which is awful. My organization afraid me what to put this in order and I hate it. Can someone get a Virgo to fix this? This chat is lit. That is correct. If you weren't here, if you were only in the original one where I kept messing up the stream, then you missed out. Tower 28 is releasing these JuiceBalms. Hold on. I don't have my information up. Let me get to it. The JuiceBalm Vegan Tinted Lip Balm. I haven't even finished. I haven't even gotten through. It's called a JuiceBalm. I don't need you to tell me that it's a tinted lip balm. Like if that's the full name, JuiceBalm, we already covered balm. So like, why don't you just call them the vegan tinted JuiceBalm? And I think I can fill in the gaps from there. It's described as a buttery smooth vegan tinted balm boosted with healthy ingredients and bursting with juicy color, derived from fresh produce like mango seed oil, vitamin E, and vitamin C. This gives a dewy sheen. These look gross. I mean, I don't know why I think they look gross. Let me unpack that. I don't like the way these look. I've seen discourse happening around the fact that these are like pencils, which I guess doesn't bother me, but some people have seemed opposed to that component. I guess I don't care, but I probably wouldn't buy these anyway. You know what I think? Here's what I think. So you know how Tower 28 released those pencils that were like, it could be a lip liner, it could be an eyeliner, it could be a blush. It should have been the chunkier pencil, or they should have advertised this one as like a lip and cheek. Because whenever I think of those small pencils as blush, I was like, I wouldn't do that. Like, that seems like a lot of work for me. I mean, I guess it makes sense. And like, it's definitely giving spring release vibes. Like, it's bright, it's punchy, it's colorful. I like see what they're trying to do, but like, doesn't Tower 28 products go pretty bad pretty quickly? I had one of the Tower 28 blushes. So far, anything I've tried from them, I've been like, meh on. Like, meh. These are pretty. I could see them doing well. I know that there's a market for something like this, but it's like, I'm not the market. Hi, Megan. Welcome to your first CS Live. Hopefully you're getting initiated easily and well. The one benefit to Tower 28 putting avocado in basically everything is automatically saves me money. There you go, Colin. I don't understand Tower 28 as a concept. Everything they release is wet. There's a lot of hate towards the wet. Do you guys just talk about me behind my back? Are you guys on Beauty Guru Chatter and being like, Tom looks too wet? I'm now self-conscious about it. These names look like Wish product listings. Squeeze, shake, drink, mix. I don't want this. What is this? Why? Michelle Wong did shorts on all of them. They remind me of Clinique. That could be your read. Clinique is not like a brand I hold in like incredibly high regard, but I know that it's some people's thing. This was originally a Sephora's favorites and it was horrible, so they pushed back the release and reworked it. And apparently Michelle Wong likes them, and I appreciate them reworking it. I like that. I like when a brand knows that they were wrong. Like they needed to like finesse it better. I'm okay with that. Clinique chubby sticks. They do look like that. I'm going to say something brave. It would take me so long to go through one of these that it'll rot before I finish. Yeah, me too. I'm the only one who can pull off wet. Okay, I see some other, I don't know what to call us. I feel like anything I say about us being wet or moist feels like something that would get me demonetized on YouTube. I'm always wet. I mean, okay, I'm moving on. All right, I guess. Here we go. Let's talk about it. Pat McGrath. You know, every time I talk about Pat McGrath, I get trepidatious. Minsu, you're not going to like what I have to say. And you know that. The Love Collection includes 3 Mothership eyeshadow palettes, but the Mothership without all of the vowels. There's the Sublime Seduction, the Iconic Infatuation, and Velvet Liaison. The Fetishized Longwear Liquid Eyeshadow, those are $29, and it comes in Divine Champagne, Luna Rose, Bronze Bijou. I don't know why I said that like that. Platinum Bronze, Smoldering Seduction, Twilight Platinum, and Cosmic Chartreuse. The Satin Allure lipsticks, $30. Crimson Ecstasy, In the Flesh, and Nude Venus. The Skin Fetish Divine Blushes. Are these in different packaging? So those come in Desert Orchid, which I have, so I don't understand what's going on here. And Flirtatious, which I know other people already have, so is the packaging different? If someone knows, let me know. I'm not going to read the chat yet. And then 2 Liquid Lust Legendary Wear lipsticks. And then the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. Well, they're really trying to push that again, which has been interesting. First of all, whenever I read that there were 3 eyeshadow palettes, I was surprised because I thought there was just one. I have heard that people are excited that there's an all matte one. I will tell you this, they're not my preferred matte eyeshadows. I have plenty of matte McGrath eyeshadows. They're not my preferred mattes. I know that some people like them. It's not me. I don't like them. It's not for me. So the matte one is immediately out. And then the other 2 ones are so boring. I get it. Like if it's supposed to be your Valentine's Day collection, this will sell. It's boring. Of course it's going to sell. But like, that's what we've been saying about Pat McGrath for the past 2-3 years. It's going to sell because it's boring. I don't understand what's going on with the blushes. I kind of hate this constant cycle of re-releasing the blushes in different packaging. I think it's happened with highlighters too. You can make a new shade of blush. Lipstick and my white Valentino. What is this? Like, I don't understand. I think the thing that is like the most noteworthy, in my opinion, is these liquid eyeshadows. I'm saying this as someone who doesn't like liquid eyeshadow. I couldn't give a flying fart about these. Like, I just like do not care about liquid eyeshadow. As someone who's greasy eyelids, there is not one that I have put on my eye that has survived more than an hour. And so they're like decidedly not for me. Like I just can't get them to work. So that would be the one thing that I would maybe be a little bit excited about. The colors don't even look that interesting. And I'm sure I would like them. They look sparkly and like I like sparkle, but like, oh man, this feels it's a shame. That's how I feel about this brand. It's just a shame. It's a shame. I think I'd be less upset if we got, one for the money, one for color fans, or like one for people who want something that's different. We're just always getting this. Because it's like, what's going to happen next? Like, I'm surprised that the discourse around Pat McGrath's holiday releases really don't often become like, it looks like how Charlotte Tilbury releases the same blushes every year in those quads, or it's like not, that conversation isn't happening. But like, these are all, the blushes are always, they exist. I think there was like 2 new shades in the palettes this year. So 3 out of the 4 were already in. Like, I just don't understand that. I understand like if you don't have any of them and you buy one, that makes sense. But like, I just don't understand. And I know the chat's popping off. How could she release these blushes again? The PMG release is sleepy. The last couple launches from Mother have been a no from me. Same. I love her blushes. I'd appreciate new ones. Yes, I like her blushes. I have 2. I enjoyed them. Who needs vowels when you can have the same thing you already have? This new Tarte palette is kind of cute. Respectfully pass. Auntie Pat, you are no longer Mother. Whoop! Pat said, you don't want pink, have some brown. Yeah, I wish she would have just released new blush shades. If that would have been exciting, I would have been excited about that. Is this new? I can't tell. I might get a liquid eyeshadow to see what her formula is like, but the whole launch is boring. I do think a small all matte palette is smart. The lipsticks are all the same. Yeah, some people are excited about the matte palette. Literally the only thing exciting about this is the liquid eyeshadows. I agree. Who is the new Mother then? I can do polls, but I have to have answers already. I would throw up a poll. Auntie Natasha Denona. I think Natasha Denona has to stay in Auntie. It's pretty in the same way that Wet n Wild's Valentine's collection is pretty. 10-year-old me would love it, but I simply don't care. I also thought it was one palette. Thank you. Thank you, Kelsey. Personally, the only worthwhile releases are the Mothership palettes. Yeah. The 3 palettes have the same shades rearranged to make them look different. If you're excited about this launch, I'd like to remind you to get your bone density checked and renew your AARP minute. Woo! I hate her for her boringness, but she's clearly business savvy. She puts her products on sale all the time. People still buy them at full price. That's true. I do try to tell people just not to. And new drugstore releases this week. Pat McGrath comes to Walmart. All right. I have to move on. I can't with you. You guys need to stop. I feel like I miss it. Why are we talking about Gucci Westman? Who's probably controversial. I missed something. I tried really hard to get caught up, but we have 102 people in here right now, and that's the most I've ever had. So it's just moving a lot faster than I'm used to, which is great. Happy for more people. I don't know how to manage this on my own. Okay, this is from Nomad Cosmetics. Trendmoon calls it the Love and Death, which I believe it's said in a different language on the palette. I have watched reviews. If Queer Bones in the chat, they have reviewed this palette. They have talked about this palette. So if you are interested in this palette and want to see it applied, go check out their channel. I have also seen Lisa is dead. No, Teresa is dead. She also applied this. I've been seeing mixed reviews, but let me share my opinion because that's why we're all here. Nomad has yet to like really spark my interest. I think if these were two palettes, I'd buy the right side. I don't want anything that's happening on the left side. Like, I mean, you guys know that, but like really, like, I don't want anything that's on that left side, but the right side, which I assume is the death side, I would really be into that. I think just, I guess I'm just like not interested in matte eyeshadow, which is, they're a useful tool. And if you like matte eyeshadows, and if you like colorful matte looks, sure. But it always looks so flat to me. And I find the same thing. I almost put this other release, the Blend Bunny release that came out. That also looked super flat to me. And so I guess but the packaging is beautiful. And I think, I like the concept. I'm going to detour here a little bit. Back when I was in high school, I went to the International Flute Convention and I went to watch this one piece get performed. And the first movement was Heaven and the second movement was Hell. And Hell sounded like a lot more fun. And here, Death looks like a lot more fun to me. That's not a call for help, by the way. I'm fine. This chat tonight, y'all have blessed me. Now I can't even figure out where I get left off. I'm really trying. Lisa died too. Oh man, such a tragedy. Why is everyone releasing eyeshadows where every single eyeshadow is the same tone, slightly different? All those pinks and reds look almost exactly the same. Yeah, Colin's review is so good. I agree. Too much red, but I bought it as an early birthday gift to myself. I love their mattes and their cool tone side is gorgeous. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Carissa. Thank you so much. I might need someone here to go through these for me next time. Hell is lit. We're all in agreement, the right side. So let's have a conversation about palettes getting released where the tones are slightly different. If you don't care for that and you would like to take the time to mix your own eyeshadows, meaning like, I'm thinking of like Hindash palettes. That's kind of what those palettes are designed to do, where it's like, if you want the red, but you want it to be darker, you like tap your brush into the red and then the black, and then you like go back and forth. And like, that's how you really deepen things out. Otherwise, and I think a lot of people aren't willing to do that and put that work in. I think that's why these color stories get released. It's like, so you can do a really easy gradient with like out really much work. I want the right side to be as available as singles. That would be nice. It's giving P. Louise, I can't blend, so I need every single shade of pink. We're almost done all the way, by the way. So these last two go together. So Dior and Natasha Denona are coming to Ulta. And you guys know I like to like speculate about business things. I'm wondering what's going on. I am, because I mean, I think that a lot of brands are trying to get into more spaces because money, which makes sense, but also it costs them money to go into stores. Whenever I worked at Sephora, one of the things that I got the biggest complaints about was our reward system. Now it has improved. It's like still not better, but it has improved, like still not better than Ulta's. I think that this is really smart for brands. And I think that every time a brand from Sephora moves to Ulta, it's bad news for Sephora. Not moves, but being sold at both. I know that I personally probably would buy mine from Ulta because I'm one of those point girlies, you know, I'm trying to get those points. Like, I prefer shopping at Sephora, but if I'm going to buy online, I'll buy it from Ulta. It's going to come the same way. It's like, it doesn't matter. I think that every step that this takes, it's more trouble for Sephora. I think that more people than not will want to shop at Ulta or will buy things through Ulta because Sephora has spurned them. They like the vibe of Ulta better. And I mean, I don't know if they're going to be in stores because like that's also different. Like the way that Chanel is in some of the stores, I think it'd be smart if Natasha Denona was in stores, if Dior is in the stores, because I think people have been posting about it. I don't know. I just think it's big yikes for Sephora. And like not the brands that are kind of exclusive to Sephora are all the wet brands, all the wet brands. I don't think Ulta has any of like those like wet. Sephora now carries Kosas, Tower 28, Saie, Glossier, and now all of like the higher end brands are like moving to Ulta. And it's also going to bring higher end clientele into Ultas that might have been missed before. And once they catch on to that, they might just be like, oh, I'll just go to Ulta. Although I think really high end people end up going to like counters in like Nordstrom or like Bergdorf's and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, the Ulta reward system is much better. Sephora needs to stop being stingy. I agree. Anytime I can shop anywhere other than Sephora, I'm going. For sure. Better points, but terrible shipping quality. Those ND shades will be busted. Well, Natasha Denona also puts their, I mean, I don't know if it's always, anytime I've ordered from Sephora or Natasha Denona's website, they've come in their own like separate shipper, which I think they do on purpose because they don't want them to get damaged, but I don't know. Ulta's shipping is like pretty bad. It's weird that there's such a high jump from Ulta's high-end selection to Dior Chanel. That's also true. Not to sound naive, what are people's qualms with Sephora's rewards? So you used to not be able to redeem them for like a cash value. It was like always just like minis to like try. And people are like, I'm spending like, so to get a mini, you would have to spend $100. And like Ulta does a lot of bonuses, and like Sephora only really started doing bonuses at the end of my time there, where they would like be like, you can get point rewards, but like Sephora needs you to like buy all into like their culture, or like it's like, oh, you're Rouge, but like what does that mean? Not much. You don't get much for being Rouge other than the sales that happen twice a year. You get an extra 5% off more than VIBs. And the thing is, Sephora has known for a decade that their reward system wasn't good, and then they tried to revamp it, and what they revamped it to still like didn't match what Ulta's doing. And like Sephora didn't even really run sales until relatively recently, and now whenever Ulta does 21 days of beauty, you can get every single thing that is on sale at Ulta at Sephora marked down at the same price, because they like realize they have to compete that way. So you're not missing anything from not shopping at Sephora or Ulta. If you're buying from brand websites, it's fine. It's all the same. Dee's no longer Rouge and loving it. I became Rouge again last year, but that wasn't my fault. Someone bought fragrances with my insider card, and then it pushed me over the edge. My friends, thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you all for putting up with the nonsense that happened on the first go. I'm happy we figured it out on the second go. And I appreciate you all so much for sticking with me. Thank you for chatting. This chat was lit. You guys were awesome tonight. You guys were on fire. Remember to follow your hote and you will find me. I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.